Hello Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm here for your next reading. I feel like I'm going to shuffle. I already have a lot of incoming messages here for you. I don't know if this is going to be the overall title for this video yet, but I get something about God's sphere. God's sphere. So this is like I have touched upon this a little bit in one of the other readings. I can't remember which one right now, but it was something about, was it Virgo perhaps? Virgo? It's something about, and I feel like what I'm appealing to with this reading is the truth teller in you. Like the truth teller in you has a certain truth, you could say. And of course, well, what I'm saying here, either it is going to resonate with you or it's not, right? So please just, what I'm saying, I believe there are so many truths in the world. Whether there is one universal truth over all that kind of encompasses everything, maybe there is. But I believe there are many truths in the world, depending on who you are and what you believe in. Okay, I have a flyer here now, the 7 of Michael. There's a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. Yeah, again, I feel like this is a message that has to do with the truth. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. Again, you can have a subjective truth about something, right? Okay, but the incoming I had here was something about God's sphere. And what does that mean? Well, it's something like I've said in all the other readings this time around, I've said that it's like, I believe that all zodiacs, if every person, even if you don't believe in astrology or religion or anything, it's like there is something core in you that must persist. You know, it's like you represent a certain life force, light or heart or core or something, and it has to persist. It's who you are, right? It's what you are. It is and it's something, you know, it should not be messed with. It's something vital to you, to feel you, like to be you. And having, maybe, you know, this is not uncommon, like having different belief systems than maybe you grow up with. Like you could grow up in a very religious family and actually not, you know, well, maybe you're religious, but it's a different one, right? It may be a different religion. There are different worldviews, right? And that's the core, I believe, that we are born from a DNA setting. We say it comes from family, but then you have your soul imprint. And this soul imprint can be utterly different than the one you have your family represents, right? So we have an innate core truth about something. I believe this truth is it's kind of an antenna. Like it's from this place you take stand. It's from this place you take action. If you are free to do so, of course. It's from this place you speak. It's from this unique place you find maybe your purpose in life. It's from this place you go towards an education or a dream of some kind. It's from that place. And that place is unique to you. It's unique to all of us. And there's nothing wrong with that place. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing. There never has been anything wrong with it. I believe it's like the guiding star. It's the North Node in astrology. This is the place that guides you forward. It's the place that it tells you something about you also. Like my North Node is in the first house of the self. And you know, with my channel, I'm pretty psychologically oriented. The building of the self, or even reviving a self if it has been if this core of yours in some way has been damaged. It is my own journey to revive that in me. And if you have been drawn to my channel, you could have experienced the same kind of rootlessness, the same kind of powerlessness, the same kind of not having that compass, not feeling you have this direction in life, not knowing what you wanted to be as a child, when you grow up. Like not having that orientation. If that is the case for you, well, then maybe there's something to find on this channel for you. I'm right there in with you. I know exactly what this feels like. So it's like going blindfolded throughout life, not knowing exactly where you're going. This is a pretty severe challenge for people, right? And then you can look at all the others who seem to have direction, right? Who seem to know. It's like they know something you don't know, or they are in contact with something that you are not in contact with. This is what I talk about, the God sphere. It's like an antenna or something, an ability you have to communicate with something that is somehow guiding you. Because if I compare myself to someone who has direction, what is the difference? The difference is we are both human. We may even have grown up in the same family. We could even have been related. We could have been joining the same school. We've had the same education, maybe even. But they somehow just know that this is where I'm going. And I don't, or didn't. So what is the difference? There is something that they may, have for some reason that I seem to lack or not have or be disconnected from. Does that make sense? That's what I feel like. It's like an open channel to something, or a radio signal, an attunement to something, an antenna that works. Does that make sense? And if you do not have that antenna, you go through life blindfolded. It's an utter coincidence if you find the right place for you. You have no way of figuring this out on your own. it's like there's a missing key, or your glasses are not attuned, something like that. So, what do I want to say about that? I want to say that it's like I have come to believe that there is a sense of a God sphere. You could say like a creator tone or creator voice. I don't know how you may like this, I even see it sometimes in my head like one big telepathic brain that keeps vibing some kind of message or tune to us, right? It's like a never-ending and an infinite source, you could say, of beam, of light here. I've said before that I find it interesting that people that go on spiritual journeys, become gurus or become spiritual teachers, that somehow they have something in common. They all talk about the light. They all talk about the love. They all talk about the unconditional place of bliss and harmony. They talk about peace and harmony. They talk about these things like they are picking up on the same vibe of some kind. And I am starting to do this myself. Like I pick up on this also, right? Even though my antenna has been very broken. So I find it interesting from not having it and not hearing it at all, to now actually pick up on this as well. Not to say that my antenna is fully developed, but you know what I mean, I guess, right? That there is a difference between not having one at all and having some of it. So what am I saying? I'm saying that it's like, as I said, it's like, it's energy. Like, first of all, there is no big telepathic brain in that sense. It's just a metaphor. It's a picture so that the human mind can understand, that you can understand what I'm trying to say. This is all energy. It's a sense of a consciousness energy that exists, probably invisible. We can't see it. We can't pick up on it. We don't know where it is. But there has, for millennia, been this sense of a higher power, a God, something that we have been worshipping or whatever. Humans have done this for millennia, right? It's not new. It's still here. Religion is here. Churches are here. Belief systems, religious systems, spiritual systems, or thought patterns are here. There is, for some reason, there is something that some people pick up on, and some people literally don't. Like they don't. They live utterly by what, nature and life on earth can give them. They can be cut off from that, antenna. They can be cut off from the antenna. So I'm trying to share a sense of a truth from my perspective, and you can, you use your own discernment, right? I'm just sharing something here with you. So there is this sense of God's sphere, meaning that from some place, whether you feel that it's within you, that there is a universe existing within you, or you believe that it's a voice from the outer universe, I believe it's all the same, actually. like all these physical manifestations we see around us, it's a sense of energetic imprint. I'm an energetic atom in some way. But for some reason here on Earth we have come up in a human form. And there are probably different realms with another imprint. But, well, that's just a thesis, right? Anyway, this telepathic consciousness or brain, but brain is too literal, like it's too physical. What I talk about here is not physical. It has no form. It's higher dimensional. It's pure consciousness. It's not in a physical form. It's not per se a brain. But it's a vibe that exists in the universe, in the universal realm. But for some reason, and this is where I feel the difference is, some can pick it up. They can hear it. They can hear, it's like their own personal guide that guides them somewhere. And if they can hear it, they will probably, end up becoming successful because it's who they are. It's who they are. It's the quality they have. It's what they can bring to the world. If you can't hear it, you're probably struggling more. It's difficult to find the right, occupation perhaps, or the right place to be. It's difficult to... And this is where we sometimes rely on other people's guidance because we don't feel we have it ourselves. That we are here without it somehow. So we may listen to other people's advice and try something out, but it may not be the right thing for us. We may struggle more. And again, I get this. Now I do this. I don't think it's round necessary, but it's like there is this beam of something and there is a sphere around it where we can somehow pick it up. But to be aligned with it, or you can say there is a vibration. There is a vibration around it. And if you are aligned with that vibration, you can hear it. Your antenna works. If you for some reason are not aligned with it, that your vibration is out of that tune, it's not aligned with it, you cannot hear it, then it feels like your antenna is broken. So what does that mean? Well, I believe my personal journey, my own personal experience, for me it means that if you are in a low vibrational state for some reason, due to something, then you have a difficult time hearing it. You have a difficult time, and this can, I believe that we are all born with the right antenna. We are born with it, but it can be broken down very easily when you are a newborn or you are a child. We can see it, right? It's if you get born into an environment with low vibe, so your parents are also, you would say, it's a sense of struggling. Maybe they feel like life is a struggle. Money is hard work. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to really fight for it. Everything is a fight. Everything is uphill. Everything is a struggle. You really have to put hard work in, muscle power. You have to wear your body out, to survive. It's about surviving. It's not about thriving. It's about surviving. It's about, it's the tough life, you know. It's the struggle life. Maybe there's abuse here. Maybe there's alcohol or drug problems. Always money problems, always scarcity or lack mentality, you know. If you are born into this kind of vibe, you could say, then you accustom yourself to it. It's inevitable as a child not to be influenced by that environment. You know, the family you have, it may be the same, you know, overall voice or overall theme. The school you go to, the friends you get, it's the same. Like you align with the same frequency, it's all the same. That's why poor people stay poor. Rich people stay rich. You know, it's like they have rich friends. They have connections that can open up doors, you know. In a very unloving environment, you stay there unless you become very aware that something is terribly off here. That there's something off. People get sick here because it's literally out of alignment with your true vibe, your original true vibe, the one you were born with, that aligns with God's voice or God's sphere. It has been changed, you could say, or broken down somehow. And as long as you stay in that vibe, you will keep struggling here. You will keep struggling here. You will have a difficult time, like getting out of it, getting out of this muddy place, where you are always maybe looking for a way out, looking for a quick fix maybe, or a healing or something, but it just never comes. If we rely on the same advice, we rely on the same, and maybe that's also why we had that card that came out, right? That the things you're doing alone is maybe not enough, that you need something else to come and be a guide for you, to help you get out of this, you could say, environment. You could have, in this sphere, you could have something like, I'm not enough, I never have what it takes to become someone, I'm probably not someone who will make it. There could be scarcity around money for, education. You simply never get that choice. You simply never have the opportunity to go to college or something. You never have to, or you are in an environment that dictates you that you have to become a doctor or do something because we are all doctors in our family. And there are money for education. But deep down, you are an artist. That's your antenna, right? You are an artist. You want to be a performer, or you want to be a singer, or you want to be... And when you start pursuing the doctor career, you may, make your parents proud. But deep down, you are actually breaking down your own antenna. Does that make sense? Like, and this is something, as I said, it must never be messed with. Like, this is so vital for your happiness and thriving, for your abundance in life, for your, I want to say, safety also, and joy, and feeling that life here on earth is actually precious and beautiful and happy. Otherwise, you are here, like you live in a place where it's constant struggle. Maybe there is no long-term plan, that there is, or you may try to get one or build one, but it's never the right one, you know. I believe there is something about that kind of antenna, you know. And I think this is just part of the yin and yang again, that if Earth here, like the third dimension of Earth, it requires duality, like in a very literal form. It requires duality. So it means that some people are here with the antenna and some are not. We can see it in the world, right? There is a rich part or a succeeding part. There are countries that you could say are richer and where there is the community is differently attuned to each other. And you can have countries where there is literally like the poorest poor and the richest rich, right? We see it. We see this yin and yang thing, this dark and white, up and down, rich and poor. We see it constantly. So some are here with that antenna intact and some are here without it intact or without it. And this can be, you know, this can be karma maybe. I don't know what you believe in. This could be a karmic thing. Maybe you had a different life, a past life where it was, you know, reversed, right? That now you have reversed experiences. So you could say what I'm trying to do now is like I'm building my antenna to God or the God voice or the guiding star in me, the leading voice that kind of should lead me somewhere, right? Does that make sense? And maybe you resonate with that. Maybe you are on a spiritual journey, a pilgrimage of search for something. People in this position down here, they can become seekers. You know, they are used to listening to other people's advice because they don't know themselves. Me included, I didn't know. I listened to my parents, my teachers, advice from friends, but you know, they are all from here. They are all from this vibe. So, you know, they are doing the best they can here, but it's just, it's never going to maybe give me like a big change in life. Unless I become aware of this and unless I actually start changing something in my life. We see it, right? We see the high society Instagram life, and we see the poverty life, where people are struggling, gang fights, you know, crime, abuse, drugs, alcohol, addictions, you know. It's so visible. It's quite visible, actually. So we see a part of Earth is struggling and a part of Earth is not. So, and this is what I feel like, this God sphere has a certain vibe to it. We can, for some reason, close the door to that vibe in the way we live. Like, what is happening? What kind of thing am I participating in here? What am I part of? If I'm part of a low vibrational state, it's the reason why I can't hear the God voice or the leading star, the guiding star, the north node, the true me. I can't hear it. I'm too far away from the God sphere. That's why people talk about the spiritual awakening as is an ascension. We have to raise our vibration up. Raising our vibration means that there are certain things that you now become aware of. You work on you do shadow work. You align you shove things away from your life. Maybe people, maybe belief systems, maybe certain religion. Maybe there's another religion or another spiritual belief system that is more you, right? And the more you start to align yourself with that, the more your antenna gets built up again. For you to hear this God voice in you, this guiding star, the soul in you, the soul contact becomes established again. Does that make sense? So actually, I feel like what I'm talking about here is physics. It's physics, but how it plays out for us is not necessarily physics. It comes with feelings, thought patterns, willpower or lack of, it's going to affect these things. The sense of security, I know what I have, I don't know what I get, it's going to affect that. Like an ascension process is going to affect these areas of life. So it feels very human. Like the human experience of ascension is very human. Literally changing the vibration in your body from a denser, cloaked, muddy, lower vibration to a higher, quicker ascension energy it's literally changing your DNA. You're changing like on a physical molecule kind of level. And it affects your brain, the way you think, the way you feel, your heart palpitations, it's affecting. That's why there are so many like physical symptoms with ascension process. Ringing in the ears, the flu, ascension flu, strange kind of fevers, hot and cold sensations, different strength level. Like one part of you feels strong and another feels weak. It's an alignment to something that you were, but you were thrown into an environment, you were born into an environment that you could not control. You had no way of controlling it. And when we stay in that environment very long, we kind of adapt it. We kind of need to adapt to it. Even an undercover cop in a criminal environment with drug sales or drug distribution, if they have stayed here for a very, very long time and they know the agenda when they go in, some of these cops never get out, right? They, even though they know that what their agenda was to infiltrate this environment and get certain crime bosses behind bars. Over time, to blend in, they need to have a behavior that matches the environment. Otherwise, they will be found out. And this is literally a death sentence, right? They will be killed instantly. And they know that, right? To survive in here, they have to adapt fully to the environment, actually becoming it. But when you become it, there is a it can even, it can melt away the original insensitive to go in there in the first place. So the honorable cop who wanted to go in and be trying to infiltrate this environment, even he can become corrupted. That is how this environment works. It's very domineering. Like the tune here, it's highly dominant, it's seductive, it's persuasive, and it's harsh. And we can stay in this unless we become aware of it. So it's interesting that you have different religions in the world. And some of the, not all, but some religions, they have, in Christianity or in the Catholic Church, we know that it's like the commandments. There are certain commandments. That if you live by these commandments, you are kind of safe in the church, and you are welcome, right? Because you belong now to this institution. There are other, I believe, in Islam, in the Quran, there are different, maybe not so different commandments or rules, you could say, or traditions or rules to live by. Then you belong to this institution, to this environment. And belonging to that church gives a sense of, you could say, family. It gives a sense of belonging, which is vital to the human child. When we grow up, it's very important to have family. It's very important to have something to belong to. Whether it was right for you or not, that's another question. But it's vital for our physical survival to somehow belong. There are so many different religions, and it means that there are different, you could say, families out there that you could choose from. You could choose. But that's not necessarily what happens. Usually we stay with what we know, what's familiar. It takes a sense of rebel to join another club, you would say, or to choose to say goodbye to this family and go towards another. And there are all kinds of emotions involved in this. It's not an easy process. So spiritual awakening is not just, beautiful God light comes in and bliss and everything is nice. Well, I don't know, for some maybe it's like that. For others, I really feel like it's a shake-up of everything you know. The more low you are here, the more low you come from or you have been enmeshed in, the more difficult it is to get up, you could say, or raise up, right? The more difficult it is to raise the phoenix up from the ashes. Like rebuilding your antenna is like the phoenix rising. That's what I'm talking about here, if you like that term better. And again, for me, it's more a physical thing. It has to do with physics. Like this is a vibration thing. Like you can measure some of these vibrations. You can, if you can, like your body is like an antenna, right? You have an ability to align with something that is not what it was. It's not necessarily easy to make that step, but you can make it if you believe enough in it and if you have help, perhaps. Right? That maybe alone is difficult. So again, if you join a different club, but usually if we are if we are not aligned with it, it feels off somehow. It feels like we don't belong, and we don't even know sometimes how to conduct ourselves. If you come from a worker environment and now you're supposed to put your suit on and go to this gala dinner with all the top 500 companies in the world. It's a big move from being a carpenter here and then join the elite, you could say. It's a big move. You have to be a bit of an actor here to blend in, to be able to conduct yourself the right language, sales pitches or whatever. You have to kind of become aligned with that kind of environment if that is what you want. If this is about financial opportunities, right? It means that for you to be aligned with that, I don't know what your highest sphere, what your core is. Now I talked about financial success here, but your core could be about love. You can try out the financial stuff here, but it's probably becoming, or it's maybe a struggle here because your core is something else. I said in the Scorpio reading something about what it is that you want is maybe not for your highest best. This is exactly it. That maybe you want the financial success, you want out of the gutter, but the financial success is maybe not for your highest best. Your antenna is designed to pick up on something entirely different. You are designed for something different. It's not the financial success, perhaps. This has to do with embracing love on a bigger scale, showing it to the world, and being that beacon, you could say, because someone needs it. They need to see, right? So I don't know what abundance is for you, Sagittarius. I don't know what that exactly means. For some it means harmony in everything they do in their life. So yeah, there is money, but it's in a particular way that you earn your money or you get your money. It has to align with something else in you, so that in the bigger sense there is you could say a purpose and an income, but it's all in a bigger harmony. So I believe we can close the door to our own God voice. We can actually destroy our own antenna. That is the free will we have. We can choose to see if we can find it again. That is a free will. But it means that you may need to walk away from something. You may need to leave maybe the most normally secure place It may mean your family, your traditions, the way you see life, all your world values that may not have been your own. You need to become brave and trust that there's something else calling you here. And go towards that. I don't know if you have seen the film Divergent, but this is actually it in a nutshell. The children grow up in one of the factions inside, you could say, the society they grow up in. There are all kinds of belief systems ruling each of the factions. And there is an overall system that has kind of aligned how all these people can coexist, and that the factions is a helping tool for that. But the young people are given a choice when they are, you could say, 14, 15 years old. They're given a choice to choose one of the other factions if they believe that they actually belong there more than where they come from or where they have been raised. That is kind of what I'm talking about, choosing another club. And when you do that, now suddenly you become part of a different system. Like the main character in the movie, she comes from a very, like the faction is about modesty, helping the poor. They don't really have mirrors. It's not about, like their faction doesn't, it's not aligned with, you could say, vanity, for instance. They live a rather humble life. Their clothing is humble. They are in service of the poor and of nature and agriculture, and that is their life. It is the value here comes with a sense of, like natural balance, humility, things like that. But she chooses to join what is called, it's the police group. I can't remember the faction name. But she chooses to join that group. And from the moment she steps in here, it's drama. It's quick, it moves quick, it's fast, it's strong, it's very... It's forceful. And she has to adapt to this. She has to become quick and strong. She has to physically train her body and become adapt to be part of this group. Otherwise she would probably fail, right? She would probably, it's competitive. She could actually fail and be thrown out of the faction. So there is a big difference between from where she comes from to where she is now. And she had to adapt to that. Later learning that her mother actually was raised in that faction. She was that kind of warrior, you could say, or police member. But she didn't know that, right? It was in her genes somehow. She didn't know because her mother lived a very different life, right? So it was in her genes. And somehow she could just spot it, right? And where she was, it didn't feel fulfilling for her. Even though it was kind and loving and but there's something else in her that is kind of calling her. And she did make the change. Like, she did choose another faction, but some of the children didn't. They stayed. They stayed where they were raised. And that's what I feel like, that some will stay because they don't know what is this environment out there going to give me, right? I maybe not feeling that they are prepared to make a shift like that. Or maybe they literally feel they belong where they were raised. But the main character, she did this. She threw herself into this new faction. And from that moment, she says goodbye to her family and brother. She can never return. It's for good. It's forever. So when you choose this, it can't be redone. You can't go back. So when you've made this choice, it's forever, whether you love it or not. That's how the system worked in that film, right? And I'm not saying it's like this. I'm just saying that there are different groups out there. There are different clubs or different religions or different lifestyles, different priorities. You know, and it's all about rebuilding that kind of antenna, or this getting closer and closer to the core of yours, right? Sometimes we put up protective mechanisms if we grow up in a low vibrational sphere here. We put up protective mechanisms to actually protect this part of us that is different. The protective mechanisms help us. This is the ego building, right? It helps us to navigate this round, but it has never been right for you. Like, a toxic environment has never been right for any of us. But then there are karmic lessons and whatever you believe in spirituality, right? There can be all kinds of understandings about this. That the soul is here to learn something, the soul is here to grow or to rebuild maybe its antenna. Maybe that's a life lesson. In other lifetimes you had it, you know what it was, you know what it feels like. Now you don't. So figure this out, right? That it could be a life lesson. I don't know. But, you know, it's I have just come to believe that it's like, because I have been observing others, it's like, they simply know. They are 18 years old or 10 years old, and they know. Like, they know. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a firefighter. Well, that's common among boys, I guess, right? But I want to be a singer. And they do it. They stand in the living room pretending they hold a microphone and they sing and dance. You know, and when they grow up, they pursue this. They still do it. It's like they just know. And I have respect for that. This is very interesting for me to observe, because I never had that. I never had that feeling. And I'm asking myself where it comes from. How do they know? How come they know? And the answer I get is this. It's because you can become out of alignment with your God sphere, your own God voice. Or what you want to call it. You get my point, right? This has nothing to do with, or source creator voice. Just use another word if you don't like the God voice thing, right? But I think you get my point. It's the God voice or the creator voice comes from such a giant place. It is and that's why I call it a kind of brain. Because it's vibing something, and it has to be that complex that we can all pick up on, each and every one of us. That it's particular for each and every one of us how we can contribute from the highest possible, best, you could say, from our most highest glowing place. Where we are the truest us, you could say. Where we express the truest us. Like the signal I get is particular for me. The signal you get is particular for you. That's why we see the diversity. That's why we have so many different ways of, living and working and contributing to things. That's why we see so many different artistic expressions. Because there is not just one right. We are all right when we speak or act from our truest, most glorious place. But we can shut the door. We can end up or be in a place where we can't receive the message. And when we can't receive the message, we can have problems in general with receiving anything. Receiving help, receiving offers. We can be avoidant of the idea of receiving anything. So why do we close the door? Well, the environment, of course, can do something, but I also believe that disappointment, broken hearts, overwhelm, different kinds of stressful situations can do this. We lose the trust. Rebuilding trust is one of the vital things for raising that vibration up. Okay, enough about this. Let's look at the cards here, right? So the center card, let's have a look. Page of Gabriel. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. So this is the center card. It's always important for the reading, and it is pretty much what I talk about. The page of Gabriel is like this. The page is usually, a young energy. It can be a child energy. And he holds his fire here. This is his life force. This is who he is, the core I talk about. This is this private or very original, authentic fire that you have. When this is intact, you are energetic and brave and optimistic and playful about life. When this is intact and you follow it, it becomes exciting to be here. It becomes like vitalizing to be here. Follow that passion of yours, right? You're ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. Yeah, that is why this is so important. To keep it alive, to fight for it or to heal it, or he has his antenna here and he knows what it is. He can hear spirit. He co-creates with spirit. His door is open, we would say. The antenna works. The channel is open. He can receive the message. So it means an environment that has somehow allowed for this, right? You can get this. A child is born in a family, and the family allows for the child to, go and play the piano. And the child is so absorbed in this piano playing that they can become what is that called? A master, what is this called? Virtuose piano player. They become this genius piano player, right? Because the environment is supporting it. The parents, they make sure that the child gets teaching and maybe, opting it, meaning that they get another teacher that is even more brilliant, or they get to see they are doing what they can to give their child the opportunities that it needs to grow and evolve its artistic expression, right? Or its ability to play. I saw a video online about I believe she was around 13-year-old blind girl, and she plays all by, she can't read, she can't read notes on the music. She can't, it's all by hearing, it's all by remembering. And she was playing the most beautiful, flawless compositions. Extremely talented, and her hearing is so strong, and her memory is so strong that she doesn't she can't read, or she can't see, right? She's blind, but she uses other facets of her to bring forth her talent. Right, and that was very unique to her. So it's about our uniqueness, that something about you is vital, beautiful, brilliant, and unique. And this can be brought forward. It's just to find the environment for it. It's to find the right supporters, maybe, the people that see the value of this. They see the value. They see that it's important in this world. That it can be maybe helpful or inspirational to others. That is what this is. That is what this represents. The young flame in you. The one you were born with. And yes, maybe it takes it. Sometimes we just have to go out there. We have to separate from where we come from to figure out the difference also sometimes, right? The difference between where we come from and what's out here. And you can find someone out here who understands your uniqueness. You can also find some who don't, who will discard it or even abuse it or, take advantage of it and everything. But this is the navigation, right? This, especially if you don't know, if this antenna has been cut off, then you don't know. Then it will be a strange maze of, a strange maze of maybe disappointment and lost effort and things like that. But it doesn't mean that you have to give up. Here the antenna is intact. It is useful. You can hear it. The flame is still there. It has not been distinguished. And it means that you can follow that passion. I get it. You can grow up in an environment that doesn't support it, but you will eventually become older. You will eventually become, you will become adult. You will grow up. You will leave the home at some point. If you have, for some reason, have become so enmeshed in this low vibrational environment as I did, it's like the undercover cop, right? The undercover cop that has been in this drug environment for so long that he has actually forgotten his reason for even going in here, and he has forgotten what he was actually trying to do here. So when he, for some reason, enters out of this, he is pretty damaged. Like, this has taken a toll on him. It has maybe reduced him to a drug addict himself. Maybe he has become abused in there. Like, maybe the tone, the environment, the harshness, to blend in, he had to survive there. He changed himself. Right? And to change back again, to become the full functioning good cop, you could say, it may take a while. You see the point that it may take a while. So when you look at the front picture for these readings, this round of readings, I show the hands here and a clock. And that is an image of what I call God's speed. It's something about divine timing. It's something about aligning over time. Especially if you come from a very low vibrational, abusive place. Like the raising up of something, it can't be quick. It can't be done overnight like that. It takes a while. We may want it. We may want it now. But it's probably taking a bit longer because, again, you have to go through all the emotions of it. Like, everything that is not aligning you with it, that is a block of aligning you with it, you have to filter through that. Here though, this is like, and in the Scorpio reading, I talked about congratulations, I talked about success, or was it Libra? I talked about overcoming something very difficult, this feels a little bit like this is either, you have always had this. You've always known what your passion is. Or otherwise, I want to say it's coming, right? Again, the God speed is in motion. It is in motion. It may not be quite there yet, but it's a process of aligning yourself with the true you here, the true light. And you are fire sign, Sagittarius, right? So it could become more, and think about it. If you haven't had it, what it feels like when you actually hear it, when you actually find it. Like, if you've always had it, it's just inbuilt. You don't know what it means to lose it. You take it for granted. But for those who never had it or felt they never had it, it's pretty amazing when this comes in. Because it's your identity, it's who you truly are. It's everything that has to do with your vitality. That if you can't live from this place, your vitality, your strength, everything goes down. And you know, it's a place where you can lose inspiration and motivation because you know, you can feel it. It's not right. It's not right for you. You know? Okay, here I have, Healer of the Ages. Well, I can never look at this card and not think about Jesus, right? This is it's very profound energy. I don't know if you have been searching for your passion here. This is a left card, the left card of the story here. Left can talk about, you know, recent time, the past, something you have gone through or you're going through. Maybe you're still going through this. I want to say it could be the feeling that you are, first of all, aligning with who you are, the uniqueness of you. But you could have help here. Like maybe you have a deity here at your side helping you. This could be what the process is here, that you go through some kind of healing. And there's something here, maybe you have called it in. Maybe this is Jesus, maybe you have been praying for Jesus to save you, to help you. But I would say this can be any kind of deity, as long as you know it's a healer here. It's a healer energy. An angel, Raphael. Maybe this is like healer of the ages, right? Like this is not any kind of angel. This is not any kind of, like this is the healer here. Profound light, right? Profound beauty. It can be part of yourself, like awakening some kind of again uniqueness in you, right? It's not just anyone. And for some reason, I also see like the portal behind him here. It's like he stands here and sends you some kind of light. He represents something that is here in this portal. And he's sending this light to you. You know, again, I get this feeling of like the God voice. Like this is like, I don't know if you can see it, but he's emanating something from his hands here. From his heart, from his crown chakra here, right? Emanating it. Again, I get this feel. This is a bit what I talk about the telepathic brain, right? That there's something standing here, just beaming. It beams something towards you here. Just beams something, right? And when you can pick it up, you can hear this very clearly. But you know, it may take a while. It's not disappearing, like the God voice never disappears. We disappear from it. This is a constant. Like the God voice is infinite, constant. It's us. We can close the door to it. We can get out of alignment. It depends on how you live your life. It depends on the environment. It depends on what kind of values are here that you are supporting somehow or identifying with. When it becomes your identification, you have taken on, the words, the narrative. You have taken on the virtues. You have taken on maybe being a sinner. You have taken on the belief system that operates here. You believe in it. It has become you. You have become aligned with it. You believe it. Your brain is circling in these, in this environment. You operate from that place. So of course you have struggle, fear, lack mentality, scarcity, anxiety, maybe depression, maybe PTSD, maybe, all kinds of stuff, and you operate from that place. There is no way that you have a chance to hear the beam here of God or Jesus or whatever you want to call this from Creator. Like the light that comes from here is so beautiful and so loving that it's unbelievable. If you have grown up in a very low vibrational, it feels very overwhelming actually. This is almost like an overwhelm if you have been out of touch with it. It's like an all-encompassing father or mother figure here that loves you unconditionally. And when you think about that, if you have both of this, if you have both of this at your disposal here, it's easier, right? It's easier to be here. It's easier to find your way. You are loved. This is an energy of unconditional love, sending you that vibe. And when you can pick it up here, you can pick it up. You have part of it here that is guiding you. It's the confidence that it installs in you. It's the belief in you. It's the trust in you. It's everything in you here. As long as you can pick up on this, then you have this guiding star. You have it with you always. It's always there. It's the support, right? It's unconditional support to who you are, what you are, to that vital life force of yours. Unconditional love to that. Try to imagine that if you come from where I come from. This is unbelievable how vital this is. For a young child to go out in the world and trust its flame, to be independent enough to go out there, be the fool, go out and trust your flame, trust your passion, go for it. You will still meet places that will not, accommodate it, but you will know then, okay, they don't see it, they don't get me. I have to go somewhere else, right? But if you don't have this intact, you don't know. You can just as well stay there as you can try somewhere else, because everything seems the same. Nothing stands out. Nothing rings a bell. I'm saying this also to tell you that if you are someone who has this intact, just know that not everybody do. So when you talk about your passion here, just know that not everybody has this. This is not to be taken for granted. This is not to be taken for granted. This is extremely important. Coming from someone who didn't have this. But I know about it now. Now I know about it now. But it has been, it's like, it's like living in a different world. That's why when you look around the world, there are different spheres. We don't have one world. We have many levels, many different spheres here. Some live in some vibration, others live in another vibration, and some even live in another again. They are intertwining with each other. And you can meet up with another sphere, a person from another sphere, and you will bounce off each other. Because it's not aligned, it can only momentum, or it can only, be in touch with each other for a very short time, then it bounces off again. That's why people meet, but they also separate again. Does that make sense? There's not just one existence on earth, there are many different kinds. Follow your passion. I think when these are intact, when they are connected here, you will know where to go. You will know what feels right for you and what feels wrong for you. You will know exactly where to go. You will have this knowingness about something. What is energizing you? What feels playful, or what is like giving you this optimistic, positive feeling, right? Maybe you have been trying to tune into this energy here. Creator source vibe here. And because you do that, again, Godspeed maybe with this. Because you keep tuning in on this, what this is, it's showing up more and more. Again, the page can suggest that this is a rather new feeling. It hasn't established itself quite yet. It's a bit of a novice feeling, like a newbie. What is this? I have a sense of something. It's coming in slowly, bit by bit maybe. It's building itself, to something. I'm trying to put this puzzle piece together, like something like that. But then when it's here, like when this is established, then you know what to do, right? Let's have a look at this here. Yeah, it makes sense. The two of fire here is normally a card of, having two choices or seeing two paths ahead. But one is more maybe inspiring or motivating than the other. One seems like a better choice than the other. it came out reversed here. This tells me a bit like it's not that there are two paths. There is only one, right? It's like, or we can see her here. It's when she looks forward, even if she has her lantern here, it looks a bit blurred, right? Well, it seems like she is not quite sure what's behind this blurred cloud here. So it can be difficult to see ahead. Where am I actually going here? I know that I'm following some kind of path, but am I on the right one? At some point, because there were two, you chose one. And maybe it has led you into a maze of, cloudedness. You can't see clearly. Or the fire you put forward here, the inspiration or the motivation to do something, it just seems like it's a never-ending story of fog here. Like I've been diving into something, but it seems like the more effort I put in, it's not right for me. Maybe I should go back and try the other path, right? When this is reversed, it feels a little bit like coming out of this fog. Like you have been trying to follow this feeling, what I say, this is like this core flame. You've been trying to follow this. But there has not been clear sky, as you see here. It has not been visible for you. It has been quite blurred. And now we have this card that tells us something about, I feel like getting out of the fog. You have been following this path, one that seemed perhaps better than the other, not knowing where it's going to take you. And it has felt quite blurred. But reversed, it suggests to me that it's probably like the fog is ending, like a brain fog, right? Or, like the mind control is over. Like you finally get out, you pass by this. Let's have another card here on this. You pass out of the fog. I feel like when this is established, it will let you out of the fog. The brain fog here. The brain fog can be, thought patterns that have been governing your decisions and the worldview you had. And because they, as long as you are out of vibration of your God voice, you will feel like you are in this fog maze here. You will not know because the connection has not been established yet. When this gets established again, when you have been raising your vibration up enough, you will be able to hear this more and more. And eventually the brain fog is over here. The compass returns. You are now within the sphere, or you have reached the outer sphere. From coming out here, you are now reaching the outer sphere of this beam here. And when you reach that outer sphere, this is where some of the antenna comes back. This is where the brain fog stops. Let's have a card on this one here. Yeah, I get this card here as a clarifier for the two of fire here. Happy family. Look how everything is now brightening up here. Happy family, right? Happy life, happy family. Dancing, cheering. The beautiful rainbow here. Everything lights up. The cloud is gone. And you're not alone here either, right? You have been, with your beautiful giraffe friend here, you have been traversing something here, like the hermit, right? But for some reason, when you get out, the sky clears up here. You have found your new club, the new family, the new place that sees you and accepts you for who you are. You have found also combination how they hold hand here, connection, right? Connection. Beautiful beach, beautiful sky, everything opens up, the sun comes in clearly. You can hear, see, smell, remember clearly here of what true family is here, right? How family is supposed to be. What a nurturing, kind, good family is supposed to be, not what you experience probably. A connected family that holds hands, with respect for each other and each other's individuality, right? Getting out of this feeling of being, disconnected from family, disconnected from harmony also. I get harmony from this card as well, right? A balance here, a balance of, yin and yang and the children, like a balance of the yin and yang. Like there is a respect and an understanding and a care, a genuine care here between them. That's the happy family. This is the happy family. This is the, I've had that, what was it? Was it Libra? I said something about this is where you truly belong, right? That something about that the environment, the people, the way they see life, this is the true place for you, right? This is the vibration for you. Here you can hear the beam here. Now you are in contact with the beam, right? So when this all comes together and the contact is created, this is where everything opens up again, where where your brain fog is lifting, and suddenly you have the clear sky. Suddenly you remember who are the people here that can be my happy family. Who have I met in my life? Who is that? Who is truly my, my support team? Who loves me for who I am? My uniqueness. That is what I get here. So for the page of Gabriel, I get the drum. This is the same thing. This is hearing the heartbeat, right? This is hearing you could say the beam. This is the ability to hear the beam, what my heart drums for, what my heart beats for, my passion, right? This is the drum that kind of keeps like emanating this beam that is your true message, right? This is the one I am. This is my uniqueness. Getting in tune with that drum of yours. It keeps vibing here. It keeps sending out this vibe for you to pick it up, but we can close the door. When people ask God for mercy, God for help, well, it's probably because they're out of alignment. Of course they can ask for a higher guidance, but it's there, it's beaming all the time here. It's beaming all the time. It's about you opening the door again to it. Finding a way to do that. Maybe you have to do this in secret. I don't know. Maybe you have to find a way of connecting in secret. If you are in an environment that is really down here, not supporting your personal inner choices, not seeing your uniqueness, not allowing you to explore it also, like, taking opportunities from you. Let's say you love horses, you would like to be a rider, right? You would like to compete in and really connect with your horse here. But your family is not supporting that and is never allowing you to go and do horseback riding. So you can only, you can look at afar. You can look at other people doing it. You can watch TV series about young people that have a horse friend, right? You can read magazines about it. You can still dream about it, and you can look on YouTube. But it's not the same, right, as you being the one in direct contact with your, horse or giraffe here. It's not quite the same, but you can still keep the dream alive, even though you may do it in secret, even though you know that your environment is not supporting it. It's better than losing it altogether, I feel like. So there is a drum beating in all of us, a heart in us. The heart is one of the channels to the higher realms here, to our intuition, to our higher self. So I wanted a card of the Healer of the Ages here. So I get Queen Esther, the Morning Star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. Yeah, this is where you are in contact with. I feel like it's quite a profound healer energy here that you have manifested in, or you have connected with somehow. Because what they are doing is that they are helping you back to listening to your soul and not just your survivor ego. That your ego is eventually now in service of what your soul is, your true uniqueness, your true vibe, your true drum. This is a quite profound card, actually, this one. My ego is in service of my soul. Usually it's the other way around. When people are in defense mode, closed off to the God voice, the ego is in charge. The survivor ego is in charge. So this is a change, that you trust in something else in you. We see how the star is here, the guiding star is there. And it's like, it's like something is building here where you can connect with that sphere, right? You can connect with the sphere here of the beaming light that comes. I trust my soul's divine timing. As I said, God's speed. That your soul has a divine timing for emerging, for bringing forth its true light. And it, if it's bringing it forth too quickly, you will probably become psychotic. Like it's going to be so massive of a change that your brain is going to collapse. So trust that the timing of this is right. Like the God speed of this, it has your best interest at heart. Always. It only vibes with unconditional love for you. It cannot change anything too fast. First of all, you have to ask it to come in if you are out of alignment. You have to ask it to come in. You give it permission. That's the free will you have. If you give it permission to come in, it will start manifesting itself. But it cannot be quick. If it comes in quick, yeah, as I said, you will probably be like psychotic. It's too quick. That's why a Kundalini rising is not this is not a game. Doing this too fast can leave you psychotic. Trust in the God speed. Trust in the divine timing. That the soul is manifesting itself with the light you need, with the right connection here. That this is going to happen in the right speed. You have to be ready for it. Your brain must have aligned with this. Your bravery or your inner rebel must be ready, You have to be ready to make the steps towards something. And again, if you want to force something, if you want to force yourself through something, it's not very loving, is it? Trust that the love that wants to come in here is actually also loving you, in that it's not supposed to be like an overwhelm. It's not supposed to be almost like abusive. It's not supposed to be as aggressive as what you experienced here. It's supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be kind and understanding and caring and nurturing in the right time. So I have God's speed with this. I also have black candle here with a white core. Normally I don't use black candles. It tells me that for now there is an energy in the sphere around us that is very transformative. The black candle is usually what I call something occult, something rebirth, something very like the phoenix rising. There is a big transformation going on right now. On earth, in you, in all of us, is a big thing. It's not a small thing here. It's a phoenix rising. There is an energy that is asking us to rise. All of us. Some may feel this more than others. Some are ready for this. It's an invitation. You can take it. It's like it's calling us home, right? It's calling us to connect with our home. But people have walls. Maybe they don't want to. Again, remember, it's a very human feeling to ascend. All the things that happen in your body, the adjustment to something. The lower vibe you come from, the more adjustment you go through. The more difficult it is to rise up. And the lure and the dominance and the you know, the seduction of the lower vibe, it's going to ask you to come back all the time. To rise from this is difficult. The more lower vibe, the more you have fawned here, the more you have given up here of yourself, the more difficult it is to rise. And how we experience it is very human. It's the feelings, it's the sorrows, it's the remorse, it's the seeking mercy, it's the forgiveness we want to have, or we need to give forgiveness maybe, or offer forgiveness. We're seeking forgiveness. All this shame and guilt and all this stuff, it's coming up, but it's just a very human way of experiencing vibration. It's physics. But for a human, it feels not like physics. It feels like relationship interactions, it's situationships, it's lost love, it is broken hearts, it's emotional abuse, it's words, it's narratives, it's belief systems, it's thoughts. It's very complex for us. But if a physicist would look at this, they would say, oh, it's simply just a vibration shift. But coming from one vibration and up, this comes with a lot of feelings. It comes with a lot of second guessing, being angry, being resentful, feeling remorse. As I just explained, we feel the drawback. We see ourselves collapse back into codependent relationships. We return back into addictions. We try to rise up again. We return back. The rise of the phoenix, especially in the beginning, is very, very difficult. You have to be kind of a warrior, right? You have to trust your own journey here, even if you take some of this journey alone. You have to be quite fierce and believe in what it is that you feel here, that there is something in you. Like the drum here is, I've been trying to follow some kind of drum, some kind of beacon of light, something in me, and I tell you, it was like this. It's so small. But again, I said to myself, what do I have to lose? My life is bad anyway. So what if I go with this tiny inkling and I tell you it was like this? What if I go with this little tiny inkling? What do you want to, what are you, right? I was asked, who are you, right? What are you? This little tiny question mark, right? About my life. And I try to sit with that every day, trying to figure out, who are you? What are you? And eventually, like it's like the little bittle drum, and then it becomes a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. But you need time and space, and maybe you need to like get stuff away. I needed to separate from narratives, people in my life, stories, everything I was raised with. I had to question pretty much all of it for the drum to become more and more and more and more and more. And I believe, like you can still be separate here, right? You can still feel a bit separate in your life. Just trust that your soul, that God's speed here is God's speed. It's the right, God's timing is perfect. And again, you have to trust here. Trust is one of the things that can be broken, and it's not that easy necessarily to get it back. So this is trust in yourself, trust in your own light, trust in your uniqueness. Even though everything you've learned is that it's not useful, that it's not something you can rely on, you should probably just forget about it. But it's your greatest passion, right? It's the biggest joy you can ever have in life. So how can we forget that? Why should we, right? I feel like, why should we? So if you have somehow been part of an environment where there is no God voice, you see people are not driven by joy. You don't see the light in their eyes every morning where they get up and get to work. It's a hamster wheel. It's a day-to-day routine, but they are not invested in it. Then you know that they are not operating from the God voice. They're not interacting with the life that they actually want to have. They feel stressed, exhausted, tired. They become ill, They are out of alignment. It's physics. That's what it is. But it's not how it feels. So this is my personal theory around this. You don't have to agree. I offer you an opinion, right? If you live a life where you are dissatisfied, where you feel the question mark as well about your life, then maybe there's something in here for you. This is what I have, Sagittarius, for you. I wish you the very best out there. As always, I send you love and light. Bye-bye.